Capillity's approach, and then one was individualism. The other critics are coming with the perspective that instead of focusing on the final achievements, can't we consider resources or the commodities as the starting point? Can't we equally distribute the commodities or the resources, and then let people decide what they value and then how they want to convert those resources into achievement? Okay, so
Okay.
ultimately that is what Rawls' perspective was, that if you don't do that, if you don't just restrict yourself to resources, then you might be influencing those individuals' choices, those like what those individuals want to achieve, what they value for. Okay, so you might be influencing it from that perspective. That is what Rawls' perspectives were there. And then Amartya Sen's response to that particular critic is that uh, just equal distribution of resources is not sufficient, because few of them might be having certain factors which restrict them from converting those resources into achievement. So one important point he mentioned was about the personal limitation, in the sense somebody if having the physical disabilities, then that individual might not be in position to convert all those resources into their achievements. And then ultimately this kind of restrictions are there, and then just distribution, equal distribution of resources does not mean that we are giving them equal opportunity. Okay, so that is the one of the critique which people are trying to make, and then Amartya Sen tried to answer that. Okay, any other critique, Avni and Ashrey, do you want to mention and then elaborate for Anurupa?
Sachin, I'll need your help a bit with respect
Yeah.
to like last time. I do remember sharing my perspective, but key points I'll need uh,
Yeah, yeah.
the um the critics that were there, so then I can go ahead with it.
Okay, okay.
One was roles with respect to individuality and how the system needs to recognize individuals' needs,
Mm-hmm.
and but there is also a layer where individual needs then we won't be able to attend to them specifically, like for each and every person we won't be able to attend.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I'll need pointers with respect to the four critics that were there.
Yes, yes. Surely, I guess you already mentioned one thing, like that is a liberal critique, which is like talking about like what you just mentioned, individualism related critique we already discussed. Then the other aspect was about undercategorization, which Shrey already mentioned. That there are certain questions which are not basically discussed in this particular theories, in the sense there is no objectively defined list of capabilities. Now, if we don't have objectively defined list of capabilities, then what are we actually trying for? What kind of policies we need to design? Okay, so all those things become crucial, and then might not be answered using the capabilities approach. So that is one more critique out there. Right.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So perfect. I guess like these are the only things we had discussed. And the last one, which was very important. So we one of the critique is the information gap. In the sense like somebody want to use Capriti's approach to identify, to figure out the policies, to design the policies. But for that purpose, we need a lot of information, because ultimately we are collecting data from each and every individual, and then just trying to figure out the maximum possibilities, or we are just trying to figure out like what are the things which will appeal to most of them, and based on that we will be designing certain policies. In a very crude way, I'm just trying to mention the capabilities approach and its application in policies. It has its depth as well. So with this simplistic understanding, uh, we need huge amount of information, in the sense we'll collect information for each and every individual, and based on that we will design the policies. Now there is a gap in this information collection itself. So one of the issue is like how to figure out how to interpret and then how to decide what data to collect. So certain variables might be a little abstract, and it is difficult for us to collect data for those particular indicators. The other possibility was like sometimes people are not in position to express themselves, and then that is another challenge. The next challenge could be that like people are aware of most of the things, they are in position to express, but they don't want to share the information. Then that will also lead to this particular information gap. And then ultimately people are just mentioning this particular critique that information gap may lead to misunderstanding of capabilities. And then if you don't have good list of capabilities, we might not be in position to design good policies. So that is another critique which we discussed. Okay. So these four critics, there are few many like a few other critics as well, but these are the few which we thought like need to be discussed immediately. So Anurupa, like are you with us? Do you have any questions on these critics?
Uh, I just need to know one more time the who are the four critics. The first one is the liberal critics. This can
Yes.
you please repeat it?
Yeah, sure. Let me do one thing. Let me quickly share my screen, and then you'll be able to see as well. Yes. So this is the liberal critic. So it's basically trying to say that the important statement which define, which reflect the capitalist approach, and that statement is the ability to achieve the kind of lives one have reason to value. That itself is problematic, because uh, how will you define reason? Okay, that reason uh, itself will be difficult to understand, interpret. Sometimes people may not have reasons, sometimes people give reason but they don't really mean that. And then there are certain situations in which like people just think that like they are giving appropriate reasoning, but that is not a right reasoning. They lack with the information to reason something. Okay. So considering all those things, then people are saying that like this particular statement itself is problematic. So then instead of that, why can't we just restrict ourselves to resources? Okay, let people decide what they want to do with those resources. Okay. So this is basically a liberal critique. Okay. uh, do you want me to discuss the other critics as well?
I just need to write it down on the theorized. Okay.
Yeah. So this one is the undertheorization, where like we mentioned that if you don't have capabilities, listing of capabilities, then it may lead to lot of other challenges.
Okay.
Okay. We already discussed liberal critique. Individualism also we discussed that it is discussing about the individual aspects more, and it is ignoring the communal aspect of it. Okay. And then the last one is information gap. So we need a lot of information, but we might not be in position to collect the right information.
Okay.
Okay. So these four critiques largely we discussed. Good. So I thought like before discussing further, in the sense before discussing the responses of various scholars to this particular critique, and then their arrangement, their suggestions to deal with these critics, those we will discuss a little later. But before that, I thought we should discuss about the uh, various various concepts, the basic concepts in capabilities approach, because like this will be our last session on the basics of capabilities. So I just want to make sure that everybody is clear with the basic concepts, basic understanding, basic terminologies. So I thought like we'll just try to develop one example together, so that everybody's sure that like what those various concepts mean. Okay. So let's do one exercise together. What we'll do, we will just try to mention the capabilities and all the other ideas in it, okay, and we'll just try to exemplify it using, might be some example which is like related to you or you have come across, okay. We'll just take that particular example, we'll elaborate that, okay. We will just try to put together certain certain might be just we will just try to explore it further, okay. We'll just try to do it together. So before going ahead, like, can somebody mention one example which can explain capabilities approach, taking this particular approach as a base, and then can you elaborate some example? You got what I'm trying to say?
Is it with respect to comparing two situations, the one that we had taken example, like the cyclist or the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
in that way?
Something similar to that, because like that particular slide had at least three concepts. Like we discussed about capabilities, functioning. We discussed about freedom as well. Uh, we didn't discuss extensively about factors over there. So
Right.
that is one thing we can discuss. We also need to discuss about the resources. Okay. So we will discuss all those ideas. Okay. Let's start with the very simple example.
So I think the one we took with respect to education being available. Um, so the government forms a policy to educate people, and there can be different groups, one of which is accepting the opportunity of education being made available uh, to the population. Another community is they are very selective about who will learn, and there is another group who does not want the policy at all.
Right. Right.
So the first group will be able to they believe in the policy, and they are able to see that as an opportunity, and they do accept it, and they go ahead with it. The second community, they are very selective. For example, like girls cannot and boys can. In that case, girls will go through the environmental I think I'm not able to recall the word, but I think it was a limitation. Yeah, environmental limitation that the girls would go through, the boys will not.
Yes.
And for the third group, I think the capability in itself is not an opportunity at all, because they do not see the government policy as a mode through which education is possible. It is also possible in other forms as well. So not only
Yes.
formal schooling, but other ways as well.
Right. Right. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. So let's try to this entire example, let's try to put it in this particular template. Okay, let's try to understand what are the resources available, what are the capabilities out there. Okay, out of that, which particular capabilities people take and then convert them into functionings. Okay, and then ultimately what will be utility. Okay, so let's start with this. If we take the same example, so in this particular example, what do you see as the final functioning? What they want to achieve, what are they aspiring for?
Uh, Getting the kids educated.
Okay. Right. Yes. And then obviously, then in that case, if we decide to use capabilities approach as a base to define capabilities, then obviously for this particular functioning, then we need to have various possibilities. So one possibility could be to just provide them with the school. So access to school could be one. What could be other capabilities? There's a possibility that they don't
Community.
have transport. Yes, community learning could be one option.
One more
Online. Yeah.
yeah. Bolo, bolo.
Online. Yeah, Shrey.
One more capability, I think, as in not enabling but restricting child labor would enable a free children for education, kind of.
Very important, very important. So you're just trying to mention that like we just need to reduce or restrict the we need to restrict uh, uh, the communities from putting their children into child labor, and then that will give them opportunity to get educated. So that is basically a link you are trying to establish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yes. 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 What can be other possibility? So I guess like recently Arunima and Akib joined. So Akib and Arunima, we are just trying to discuss the capabilities approach, the basic fundamentals of capabilities approach, and then we are just trying to put one example together. We are developing one example together, and Amni suggested that like we can try to understand education. If parent have that as their important functioning, they consider that is one of the important functioning, one thing they aspire for. Okay, so they want basically their children to get educated, and then for that particular purpose we are just trying to understand all the concepts. Okay, so we just
Okay.
started, we just
Thank you,
mentioned function was yes.
Sachin sir. I'm closely observe, and whenever I feel to ask something, contribute something, I will definitely.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, yeah, perfect. So one example we started with, and then we mentioned the functioning, and when now we are listing the possible capabilities. Yes. Any other thing? Anybody would like to add?
So if we are providing online training, it is very important that all the children should have the basic technicalities like
Yes.
Wi-Fi, internet, in providing internet.
Right. Right. So basically, then all those things should come under resources.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you're just trying to mention that there should be access to internet or availability of internet.
And all the particular materials for the students like books and everything,
Yes.
books and
Yes.
stationaries.
Right. Right. So let's mention it as learning material. Yeah. So these are like few of the important resources which are required. Any other resources? Can you identify?
For school we need infrastructure.
We need school infrastructure. Right. Right.
Can
Qualified
media
teachers.
be there in resources?
Somebody mentioned qualified teachers.
Can media be under resources?
Sorry, can you elaborate?
Media through any form. Would it come under learning materials?
Yes. So you are talking about like learning videos might be.
Not exactly, but suppose there are news channels available or newspapers or something. So that would be under learning materials, right?
Yeah, it can come under learning material, like depend on like how you want to utilize them. So
Right.
if you are like trying to understand that, let's say through radio somebody is trying to publish certain educational material, and if somebody have access to that, then it may lead to the final functioning, which is like
Right.
getting their child educated. Then in that case, like if you're looking at from that perspective, then surely media
Yes.
is the important
Yeah.
resource.
So, yeah.
I want to ask that proper nutrition is also important for education. So is it coming in resources or capabilities that we should provide the food or a nutrition to the child?
Yes. So I consider like nutrition or any arrangements for that particular purpose should come under capabilities. But to mention that as capabilities, we need certain resources, and those resources are availability of food or supplements. All those things should come under the resources. Any other resources you can identify?
No, it's a very basic thing, but transportation is also one kind of important resources for the school.
Very important factor. And then I guess it should come under resources. If those resources are not there, then there's no chance that it will convert into capabilities. Yes, yes. So there could be a number of such factors, and then slowly, if it come to your mind, we'll just try to update it here. But let's try to focus on one more column, that is conversion factor. So what do you consider the conversion factors? Now we'll be discussing it from three perspectives. So the personal factors, environmental factors, and the systemic factors. So what are these factors which will affect conversion of capabilities into this functioning?
Uh, Parents' involvement is one of it. I think. Parents
Yes.
and teachers.
Parents' involvement, or involvement in what sense? So are you talking about their inclination, what they consider valuable? So are you considering it from that perspective?
Yeah, like for example, if we see the difference between the of private school students and government school students, that is the first generation learners is the
Mhm.
making the change, that they are not getting enough support from their parents. All the government
Right.
schools basically
Yes.
more
Yes.
almost, and when
Yeah.
it goes to private schools, you get to know that parents are interested in their studies, and they are empowering them to sit and learn things, and that is
Right.
important, I think.
Right. Right. So I'm just mentioning
Uh,
parental support here, and yeah,
in personal, it could be the student's cognitive abilities.
abilities.
Yeah.
Yes, surely those are biological factor, but I consider those are important. Yeah, and then obviously it may
Socio-emotional.
depend. Socio-emotional, surely it is, and then it come under environmental factors, right? Or you are just trying to mention it from the personal perspective, from the psychological perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, then it is coming under the personal one there. Yes. Anything else?
Systemic would be fast track policy implementations like fund mobilization for construction of schools or transport and rehabilitation of teachers, something.
Yes. Yes. Very important. Very important. Fund mobilization for any conversion of resources, okay, into functioning is really essential. So if resources are not there, then I guess nothing will move further. And then for that purpose, fund mobilization I consider as the very crucial conversion factor. And that is like practically you must have seen it everywhere, that due to lacking fund, good policies are also not getting implemented.
Yeah. So it needs to be quick and transparent and
Yes.
wholesome, sort of.
Okay. Yes. So I consider like these are the important conversion factors. Okay. There could be many more, but like just to help us understand the example, let's restrict ourselves till this. Now one more important point. What do you consider utilities? Okay. Now you have availability of resources. You know possible capital is required. You know the conversion factors. After that, like it get converted into functioning. So let's assume that you have achieved that particular aspiration. You have achieved something which you, in the sense like that particular the families or the students in the example, so they have achieved something which what they are valuing for. Okay, but this mentions about the functioning. Then what is utility?
Utility in this case would be the future prospects for the kids who have attained education. in terms of maybe say better foundation for a career ahead or maybe higher education, but because education is looked at as an important resource for future building, so that is the kind of utility we're looking for.
Right. Perfect. Yes. So one thing is like higher education could be one, better job prospects. Yes. So that is basically utility. I hope with this particular example, now we are clear with all these basic terminologies. Okay. Anybody have any question until now? Are we clear with the capabilities approach and then various concepts in it?
Yeah,
Shall I assume that like we are okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So what we'll do is like we'll periodically conducting the same kind of exercise where like we'll together try to build this entire example, and then it will give you more clarity if you have certain doubts, because there is a lot of depth to all those things. Because like right now we just mentioned capabilities, but we haven't segregated all those things. In the sense like if you are discussing about online training, then it may have very different kind of requirement of resources than for the health related aspects, and then these two things come under very different domain. In the sense like one might be with the health department, the other might be with the training department or the education department, and then obviously their positioning, their requirements, the kind of resources they already have, all those things are very different. So each and every factor need to be analyzed separately. Okay, so we'll go to that depth when we will move ahead in this particular course. But right now, for general understanding, I thought like we'll build this particular example together, and I consider it's a good example to understand all the concepts. Okay, so with this, let's move to today's agenda. Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, for Akib and for Arunima, just let me quickly repeat. So after discussing these basic concepts, we discussed about the critiques of capabilities approach, and then there are like 4 important critiques which we discussed already. Uh, Out of that, like one was information gap, the other was under theoretization, the other critique was about the individualistic perspective, and then one was a liberal critique. So these 4 important critiques we discussed, and now in today's session we are like we are going to focus on what could be responses to those critiques. Okay, so let me quickly jump to that particular slide. Yes, so let's start from here. Yes. So as we had discussed earlier, that Nussbaum is one important theorist, one important scholar, and then she has worked extensively on capabilities approach. So as we know that one of the important critique is about under theoretization, and then where we are discussing that Amartya Sen failed to give list of capabilities, and then it become very fragile, or it become vague for implementers. So in the sense, let's say I want to go to a community and I want to work on poverty elevation. Now I'm clueless, I don't have any understanding where to start with, because I don't have list of capabilities. And then Amartya Sen is saying that like he's not interested in developing the list of capabilities. Okay, so according to him, that is not required. It is very contextual. Individual needs to go and then start from that basic exercise to identify the capabilities. Okay, now it's a sometimes it might be possible for me, in the sense there could be resource constraint, I might be having time related constraints. Okay, and then I might not be in position to collect data, analyze it, and then figure out what are the required capabilities, and then start designing my program, and then I'll implement it. So it may take like years for me to work on in that particular community, and then which might not be really good. So isn't it good to start with certain capabilities? Okay, so some of them are like taking that particular approach. Let's at least start with the basic capabilities, a basic listing of capabilities which are like universal in that sense. In the sense health, for example, if you want to work with human, or for that matter with any animal, then health is like a crucial component. So I guess there won't be any discussion, any doubts whether like health is important or not. So can't we start with that? So that is the perspective few of the scholars are coming with. And then Nussbaum basically she listed few important capabilities. She called it central human capabilities. Okay, and those are listed over here. Are you with me until now?
Yes, Sachin.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. But do you agree that like we can start with certain capabilities? Uh, do you think like we should start with capabilities, or it is not a good idea to start with it?
I think there has to be some parameter from where we can start, and later on, as and when we require to identify further individualistic or subjective parameters, one can go
Mhm.
ahead with. But I think general parameters are always present, and there are some very core needs that every individual will definitely have. So
Okay.
it's good to list a generalized list of have a list of capabilities, and
Mhm.
then it can be defined according to the subjective needs.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So let's try to quickly go through this particular list. Okay. And then we'll move to the next critique, and then we'll just try to elaborate that further. So the first important capability which Nussbaum is mentioning is life. So which is basically one being able to live to the end of human life of normal length, and then of not dying prematurely. So you might have seen that like in tribal regions mortality rates are high. So she consider like that is the basic most capability and the essential most capability that one should have guarantee of living certain life, having at least few certain number of years they should be able to live properly. Okay, so that is the basic most thing she is considering. The next is body health. Okay, just living is not sufficient. You need to be in good health, and then for that purpose you may need a number of things, in the sense that you need enough nutrition, then you may need required medication, then you may need clean water. Okay, so it could be anything, but ultimately the capability you are looking for is good health. Okay, then bodily integrity. So what it basically trying to say that like one uh, if being able to move freely from place to place, and then to be secure against the violent assault. Okay, so all those things she considers like another important aspect. That is another important capability, in the sense like if I'm moving from Maharashtra to, let's say, Kashmir, then I should feel safe. I should be in position to roam around freely. Okay, so that is one important capability. Okay, I'll discuss two more, and then I'll take a pause if you have any questions. Uh, so the next one is senses, imagination, and thought. So obviously, I consider that is this is also like one of the important capability. So being able to use the senses to imagine, to think, and then to express that as well. Okay, so I consider these are very important capabilities, and then it's essential for every individual. Okay, uh, sometimes like people may think that it's a normal thing, but there are people who don't even get these basic capabilities. They don't get even opportunities to express themselves, to think by themselves. Okay, and then for them I guess this capability is very important, right? And the last one is emotions. uh, Being able to have attachment to something, feel uh, belonging to somebody, falling in love with somebody. So these kind of emotions, one should be in position to, in the sense like somebody should be in position to feel those experiences, emotions, and one should be in position to express those emotions as well. So these are like first five important capabilities which Nussbaum is mentioning. Uh, any thoughts on this?
When we talk about emotions, will we also take into consideration the um, EQ of a person to also ensure that while having emotions is like preeminent, but also how to control those emotions and to not let them come in the way of your work, like how we say that high EQ is important and things like that. So do we also take that into consideration, or right now we're only focusing on letting the person feel the way they want to?
Yes. So I consider like at least Nusbaum is trying to restrict herself to this particular thing, like what people feel and are they in position to express that feeling. So she's restricting to that particular part of it. But like what you mentioned is, I consider is one of the critique to her work. Okay, there are various aspects, and then it really vary a lot. So just give me 5 minutes, then we'll be coming to this particular important factor, and then we'll be critiquing Nusbaum's position, and then we'll be discussing one more theoretical aspects. That time I'll just discuss this again. Just wait for 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So we'll just quickly cover next 5 points, and then you can ask certain questions, and then we'll move ahead. So the next factor, or the is capability, which Nussbaum is giving, is about the practical reasoning. So being able to form a conceptualization of good, or to understand what is good, to argue for that particular definition of good, is really essential. One should be in position to reflect critically on certain things. Okay, then we can say that this particular capability does exist. So this practical reasoning is very important. Okay, and then one should have a platform to express the reasoning, and then others should be in position to listen that. Whether we agree or disagree, that might be a very different thing, but there should be certain platform to express that reasoning. Okay, and that is exactly I consider is important in the democracy as well. Okay, democracy cannot run without this particular capability. One should have opportunity to express, to tell people like what reasoning they are coming with, why they are taking this particular position, and then if people also feel that this particular reasoning is sufficient, then they may subscribe to that particular position. Okay, but there should be platform before people subscribing to something, and then this particular capability is expecting that particular platform. The next capability is affiliation. Now affiliation can be looked at from two perspectives. So first is to being able to live with and towards other, to recognize and show concern for other human being. So that is one thing, in the sense like you are feeling affiliated to certain group, that could be considered as the important capability. The second component, the second part of this particular thing is that having the social base of respect and non-humiliation. In the sense like just being part of the group won't be sufficient. Affiliation also does mean that like you are having the respect, you are in position to like maintain your dignity in that particular group. So I consider like that also is a very important aspect. So affiliation is like you get affiliated to individuals, you become part of certain group, but you also maintain your dignity in that particular group, and then you are in position to live a dignified life out there. So this particular thing come under the affiliation capabilities. Then the last the eighth one is other species, in the sense being able to live with concern for and in relation to animals, plants, and the other in general the larger nature or the environment as well. So she considered that is also important. So we should respect other species, we should give consideration to them, and then we should make sure that they are also in position to live their life. Okay, so that is another capability. And then ultimately it might be from very instrumental perspective, that if they are in position to live a better life, ultimately we as a human will also be in position to live a better life. Okay, without healthy environment we won't be able to sustain. So that could be a very instrumental perspective to look toward this particular capability. And there could be intrinsic meaning as well, there should be intrinsic motivation as well. So one could really believe that like good environment is end in itself, that is required, that has to be there. Okay, and it's a moral responsibility to sustain that particular environment. Then that could be a motivation. But ultimately, the scapulary expect to have a good, healthy environment for human being and for other animals as well. Okay. The ninth one is play. So simply, individuals should be able to spend casual time. They should be able to play. They should be able to enjoy with their family, as an individual, with their friends, and then all kind of recreational activities become part of this particular capability. And the last one is control over one's environment. In the sense, uh, people should have a choice to decide what kind of environment they want, what kind of political environment they want, what kind of material things they want around them. So it could be in their home, it could be out of their home as well. So if people feel that they are not comfortable with a lot of noise, then they should have choice to decide that they don't want to stay next to any stadium. They want to go and then stay at certain different place. Similarly, within their home, if they want certain kind of interior, then they should have freedom to pick that option and then work on that particular design. Okay, so in that case, one should have control over their environment. Okay, so these are the next five capabilities Nussbaum is trying to mention. Okay, any thoughts on this?
No.
Perfect. Yeah. So are we all okay with this list of capabilities? Do you consider like these are essential one? These are the central human capabilities. We need to consider this. So in the practical implementation of this thing would be let's say if you go to any organization or government, and then you are invited as a consultant to design any program or any policy, then in that case you will make sure that these 10 pointers are surely there. You will discuss other points separately, but you will consider that these 10 points should be there. That is basically the practical implication of having these central human capabilities listed with us. So do you agree with this?
Sachin,
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like how in the previous slide we discussed systematic factors. So here are we including those systematic factors under control over our environment?
Yes, I consider that we can, but systemic factors are normally out of our control, in the sense, let's say certain policies. So you can influence the policies, but you cannot design the policies. That is something you have already outsourced to the governance. That is already outsourced to the ruling parties. Okay, so you can have say over there, but ultimately, this control over environment, it's not basically. It does not mean that all the systemic factors will become part of it. Few of them can be, but all of them cannot be part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Anybody else have any thoughts?
With respect to Nussbaum's perspective about life, uh, uh, is it specific that uh, life of a certain number of years for each and every individual? That is what she's trying to say?
I consider she haven't mentioned any fixed number as such, but
Not number, yeah. But then assuring a certain period of life for, so because uh, there are as far as the health part is concerned, yes, it can be provided, but the whole number of years, be it 10, be it 20, be it 70, 80, the number doesn't matter. But trying to understand that a certain individual has should be able to live for a certain number of years, or should have life of these many years. I think that is something that I am sort of a bit not able to settle with, because it's pretty I don't know, it is pretty subjective.
yes,
Subjective
exactly.
also, and it is a lot of it has lot many dimensions with respect to the life and death and the time, the birth and death, and the time between it. So
Yes.
uh,
Yes, I
rest
do
all the
agree. Like
points I yeah, rest all the points they seem like capability because the policymakers or the community or anybody who's trying to design something for somebody,
Mm,
they will be able to
mm,
provide with respect to the rest of the 9 points. But with respect
yes.
to life, the life and death thing is pretty much out of hands. Like even if we try to design capabilities, uh,
Mhm.
it won't be something that will be tangible and in hands.
Yes. And exactly, I guess that is the only reason that like she is not mentioning something very objectively. She is also using terms like normal life length or life expectancy. Now, these factors are like assume the subjectivity. Uh, you cannot mention this thing with the objective measurement. I guess like she's also aware of that. But what I guess she's just trying to emphasize that like if let's say if you go to certain communities or the certain geographical areas, and then people are like if they are normally living for 40 years, then we should have uh, opportunities for them to live for that entire lifespan. And then obviously depend on individuals, depend on the family factors, depend on like n number of other factors, depend on the natural calamities and n number of other things. So those cannot be controlled, those are like out of her hand. But she's just trying to mention it in general, I consider it.
I guess also in this case, then different cultures, as you mentioned, some may have 40, some may have 60, some may have 90, some may have above 100 as well. So
Yes.
even their life vision is going to be pretty much distorted if a person of 40 is expected to provided with capabilities to live 80, and then the person is like, I don't need this. So
Yes.
situations like that.
Yes.
So there are possibilities where people may not be prepared for longer life or shorter lives.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
much going around with how the trend of the community is going.
Yes. And that is exactly the reason why people don't consider listing capabilities is a good idea. And then I guess like Aruni was just trying to mention that about the IQ. Okay, so emotions are important, and then we all do respect that. But if individuals like emotional well-being, emotional quotients are different, then they may get like frustrated easily, or they may get happy very easily. Okay, few of them may take some more time, they are having the higher expectation. So there are like n number of other factors. So listing these capabilities does not meet the purpose, because you need to go ahead and then define it further. You'll have to work on that further. So ultimately you're doing same exercise. Okay, what do you mean by affiliation? Because affiliation also need to be defined further. Ultimately in the research perspective, what we call it, the operational definitions. So these are like good as a general listing, but you need to figure out the operational definition according to your context, about according to your projects. And then if you are doing that particular exercise, you are basically repeating the things. Rather, this particular listing is not sufficient. It is contrary to capabilities approach, which is saying that you need to give importance to individual's perspective. And then, as Avni rightly mentioned, that this particular listing is giving life to giving importance to longer lifespan. But there will be certain individuals who are not interested in having lives longer lifespan. They want to die early. Reason could be anything. Okay, so then people are saying like this kind of listing is not good. It is one thing contrary to capabilities approach. Even if you decide to list something for each and every project, for each and every purpose, you'll have to redefine all those things. You'll have to figure out the operational definitions. Okay, and then only you can work on that. So ultimately it's a repetition of the exercise where you will be listing the capabilities separately for that particular project. Okay, so now if we cannot have this kind of listing, then what will you do? Okay, if you're not having certain things to start with, then there should be some option. And then Sabina Alkayat, she's just trying to give one more option to understand the listing. And what she is mentioning, yes, yes. So she's mentioning that like instead of having the list of capabilities, let's instead of that decide the process of how to reach to that list of capabilities, how to identify the capabilities. And then she mentioned there are like it could be a two-phase process. And the first process would be to theorize the thing, to figure out the theoretical aspects behind certain thing. So what does it mean? It She's just trying to say that like we need to have the philosophical discussion around certain things, in the sense like only mentioned about life. So we need to have discussion with people to understand what is their definition of life, what importance they give over there. Okay, somebody may say that like I want to live 80, whatever the condition might be. Somebody will say that like I'm fine with 40, but it should be a cheerful life. I should be in position to enjoy everything. I should be in position to travel a lot. I should be in good health. Okay, but 40 is sufficient. So ultimately, the people out there, people living in that particular community may define their life differently. So it is basically a philosophical discussion around one particular capability, that is life. Okay, so what Alkar is suggesting is that like we should start with this one particular phase where we'll be having theoretical discussion, we'll be having dialogue with the people, dialogue with the beneficiaries, we'll try to understand their perspective, and then based on that we'll prepare the definition of those particular concepts, those particular capabilities. Okay, one thing. Then the second phase would be a participatory phase. So what is that participatory phase? In this particular phase, we'll just invite the members of certain group for deliberation. Now, based on our philosophical discussions, we do have certain definition with us. Okay. Now let's try to uh, give the empirical support to it. In the sense, you understand like what is life, what is importance of life. You collected the expert opinions, you collected opinions from the representatives of that particular community. Okay, and based on that you define something as a life. Now you go and then they circulate it among the people, among the larger people, and then invite them for the interaction, invite them for the discussion, invite them to share their views. Are they okay, are they complying with this definition or not? And then once everybody comply, then that can surely become list of capabilities for that entire community. And then when we have this list of capabilities, where like we have a philosophical foundation where we know that all the people are okay with that philosophical considerations, and then based on that you go ahead and design the policies. And then now if that policies get converted into functioning, then everybody will get benefited. So that is the perspective Sabina is coming with. Any thoughts on this? Do you see that like this process oriented approach is good for identifying capabilities?
I think this will require uh, like large numbers of like-minded people, or people who will be able to perform this level of dialogue with the beneficiaries, and then the execution is completely, and the planning and the execution is completely a different thing altogether.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the manpower required to do this, and whether they are inclined towards doing anything of this kind, is also important. And if this the process looks good, and I think then it would be pretty much subjective with respect to community and group as well. So whoever is going to go and talk to one community may get a completely different view on the same topic from a different community. So designing different processes and different outcomes for two or more different communities, that process has to be done by the person who is being engaged in the dialogue.
Yes, yes. You rightly mentioned that like it needs certain kind of expertise to deal with the communities, to interact with them, to give that particular comfort for them to express and then share their ideas. So all those things need expertise, and I consider whatever the critics and uh, the debate we have around ruler participatory appraisals and all those kind of participatory methods, all those will be applicable over here as well. In the sense, people says that one thing we need expertise, the other thing people normally share the culture also play a important role. In the sense, even certain communities you may invite everybody to participate and to talk about, share their ideas. But let's say if you're going to a community where humans are not allowed to come out and then speak out their mind, then what will you do? Then you are basically getting the list of capabilities, but the crucial important stakeholders are missing during that particular dialogue. Then what will you do? So you are right in saying that even though process orientation is good, but it has its limitation. Yeah, good. Any other thoughts? Might be just a last point, and then we may need to stop. It's already 4 o'clock. Any other last thought on this particular thing? Okay, so let's do one thing. We'll just have a very quick revision of what different things we did until now. So we started by defining the capabilities approach. We tried to understand the origin of capabilities approach, what Sen has to say, and what is his philosophical foundation. Then we discussed the basic concepts resources, commodities, capabilities, convergent factors. Within that, we discuss about the personal, environmental, and systemic factors. Then we discuss about functionings. We discussed about utilities. One important point which we haven't discussed as of now is agency, which we will try to cover in the next session. Then we moved ahead, and then we discussed about the various critiques to capabilities approach. And within that, we discussed 4 important critiques. One was the under theoretization, then liberal critique to it. Then we understand the individualistic perspectives in capabilities approach, and then we lastly discuss the information gap. So these 4 critiques we discussed, and then now we are explaining. We are just trying to answer those critiques. And the answer to the first critique, that was about under theoretization, where we are just trying to say that capabilities approach is not giving list of capabilities, and it's difficult for individuals to start implementation. So for that purpose, then Nussbaum give a list of central human capabilities, okay, and which is being debated a lot. The people are saying that just listing this kind of central human capabilities is not sufficient. You need to go and then redefine it further. And that is one thing. The second thing, people are saying that you are not in position to collect data for all those things, and then people might not comply with all the capabilities mentioned by Nussbaum. So these are few critiques to Nussbaum work. And then to answer that particular thing, scholars like Sabina Al-Khaif, they're just trying to mention that there could be a process-oriented approach, where she defined two-step process. One is finding philosophical foundation to capabilities, and then secondly, discussing those capabilities with the larger group, and then trying to get their consent to include that in the list of capabilities. Okay, so this is what we had done until now. Here onwards, we'll be discussing few missing points, we haven't discussed about agency and all those things. We'll try to discuss that, and then very quickly we'll move to the collectives related discussion, where we'll try to understand what is the importance of group, and what is importance of their collective wisdom, and how does it affect on the individualistic capabilities. Okay, hope I could summarize it well. Perfect.
Absolutely,
So,
Sachin. Just beautiful. And I think the last slide that we have participatory evaluation capability, we have the why and the what, and maybe now we just need the how to
yes,
do and just go ahead with it.
yes, perfect. So thanks everybody for joining. We'll meet again at same time, 3 o'clock. Bye bye.
Bye, Sachin.
Thank you, Sachin. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Yes.
Thank you, Sachin.
Yes. Thanks. Bye bye.